MLB All-Star Ballot Watch. All-Star game coming up at the Dodger Stadium in it'll be upon us in a few weeks in July. So got a first baseman, a third baseman, and a catcher here. So I want your thoughts on who you're sending down to Hollywood. Let's go to first base first, Jim. Who you like?
I'm going to go Paul Goldschmidt in the National League, and I'm going to go Ty France. Both are having really, really good years. Goldschmidt has been amazing, to be honest. His month of May leading now into June, I mean, he's put himself into MVP candidate. I know it's early, but this guy in his career has been really consistent. And Ty France really has a great knack for bat to ball. He's playing out in Seattle. You know, he plays late, so a lot of people don't see his approach, Alex, but he's a really, really good player, and he's having a solid year.
In a year of huge expectations for the Mariners that have not quite panned out, France has actually been the one, constant from a positional player's perspective.
Absolutely.
You see the numbers there, and Goldschmidt. I think Goldschmidt might be having his best. He's had a great career. This might be his best year ever in terms of his start.
As far as his start, I would agree. You know, and a guy that's a veteran like this, we always talk about great starts. When you start off great like this and you've had a lot of years, it's so refreshing. And I don't say you get too comfortable, because in the game, you know, there is this roller coaster ride. We know that. But when you put up numbers like this, it eases you a little bit as you go through.
A little buffer.
Yes.
Yeah, you're
absolutely.
able to maintain throughout the rest of the year.
All right, World Series MVP, third baseman.
I'm going National League, Manny Machado. Speaking of guys, you mentioned Nestor Cortez from Hialeah. Manny Machado, South Florida guy. He's done a great job, especially picking up the slack with the lack of offense that they were getting at the shortstop position, and hopefully Fernando Tatis Jr. comes back soon. But he's been all everything, playing outstanding third base, defensively, and swinging the bat. And this one, I struggled. You know, I looked at what Devers was doing. He's on pace to have 100 extra base hits. But I'm looking at the numbers that Jose Ramirez. It's over 1,000 OPS. And in this day and age where no one walks more than they strike out, he has 34 walks and 17 strikeouts. He has double the walks to strikeouts. Plus, he has home runs. He's leading the world in RBIs. And, look at the OPS. North of 1,000. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, Mike, Alex, he has 62 RBIs, OPS over 1,000. And by the way, he's a great defender, and he is a great base runner. He's a complete player.
Yeah, playing against him for quite a few years, you can't get a fastball by him on the inside corner. Like, you can't do it. Anytime you thought you had him set up for a heater into the right field seats, and he was that difference maker in that lineup. That as you're putting together a game plan, you're like, we can't let this guy beat us. And even when you were trying to not let him beat you and try to get him to chase or something, he'd find a way to make an impact on the game.
He's a matchup nightmare too, because you say, okay, maybe we'll bring in a lefty because he's much weaker hitting right hand, and his numbers are right there from both sides of the plate. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he will attack from both sides. All right, who are your catchers, Alex?
So my catchers in the National League, I'm going with Contreras with the Chicago Cubs. I played with him a little bit in 2017. Tremendous catcher. He's got an awesome arm. Obviously at the plate, does a good job of being able to work the at-bat, hits for power. Has been hitting for average, I think, at 279 this year. In the American League, I'm going with your guy, Alejandro Kirk. This guy, I feel like he's been the unsung hero in this Toronto Blue Jays lineup. He's been hitting in the middle of the lineup. He kind of puts that team together as far as that lineup. Drives in runs, can hit for a little bit of power, and sprays the ball all over the field. Look at these offensive numbers from a catcher. 313 for Kirk, 279 for Contreras. It's hard to hit as a catcher now. Contreras got 12 homers. He might be traded at the deadline. But, in today's day and age is where offense is down across the board, for catchers even tougher with the kind of rigors of the position. And for those guys to be able to put in those numbers up, but also, having an impact behind the plate is huge.
What do you think about his pick of Kirk? I'd love to see it.
I like it. We talked earlier. The guy covers everything on the plate. We talk about having good starts. When you have a good start and you're on a really good offensive team like Toronto.
He's DHing on a very good offensive team.
That's what I'm saying.
When he's not catching. That tells you something there, that they need this guy in the lineup.
Absolutely.
My question would be, who's better?
Yeah.
Who's better right now than him? You know.
I like it. I mean, Jose Trevino's done a nice job.
He actually has.
He does. No, he's
an unsung hero.
And he's having a really nice offensive season too. Looked at him a little bit, and he could be the other guy.